Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, we will talk about what is the simplest structure in which you can design your data management for your AI teams. And it is divided into three parts. So one is the staging area, the second one is the data warehouse, and the third one is analytical database. While you can also have a data catalog which is directly connected to your data warehouse. So let me start with the first one. So the staging area is a place where data brought from all different types of sources in different shapes and sizes is collected together. For instance, in the image that you see, source 1 could be Twitter, which will be emitting a JSON type of data. Source 2 could be a Postgres DB, which will be emitting data in table. Source 3 could be CSV files. Source 4 could be audio video files. So all these different types of sources having different types of data, they first are ingested by a extraction and load process into a staging area. I have taken an example of object store so that you can store different types of data and not just restricted to tabular data coming from databases. Once the data is in the object store, now it is available to your data engineers to process in a way that it converts this data into a business centric data model. Now, what is a business centric data model? For instance, if you are trying to create a 360-degree view of your customer, in that case, from source 1, the Twitter data is coming where you might be tracking your customer. Your source 2 could be the billing details of the customer, which is coming from a subscription database. In source 3, it could be his spending habits, which you might be getting from credit card companies or some other place. Now, what a 360-degree view means is that for this customer, these three different diverse set of data has to come together to make any meaningful product design or any model about them. So that is one way of merging all this data sitting in staging tables into a specific data model. Now you may ask, you can do it directly as well into stage 2, but what really happens is businesses keep evolving and there could be multiple views to the same data. So right now you're talking about 360-degree view of a single customer. Maybe tomorrow you might want to build a data model where you just want to have all information related to regions coming there. So for the second use case, if you don't do it this way, you will have to again ingest data from all the sources. But here it will have a flexibility that as the business evolve in the data warehouse, you can have multiple views of the same data, cut, slice, and put together. Now in data warehouse, you can actually connect a data catalog. So data catalog, you can think about it as a discovery mechanism. Because in data warehouse, you might have hundreds of tables with thousands of columns, who built it, which column is derived from which column. So it becomes very complex when you start growing. So data catalog keep all that information so that the users can go search the different fields and see which field is where. Now the third step is the data warehouse you can also think about as a very clean set of complete data that has been ingested from different sources. In analytical database, what happens is because the business is trying to drive a use case, the data requirements are very specific. Like you might be collecting data as a time series of who ordered from my website in an e-commerce setup. But for building the model, we just want to see average daily sales and trying to predict average daily sales. Now, if you see here, what is happening is the whole data, raw, clean data, has to be aggregated at a daily level to be able to start building any dashboards or um, building any models or creating some reports. That's the third stage where we store the data, which is very much segregated from the data which is not relevant for this use case, or it could be anonymized data as well. If you don't want some data to be exposed, it could be aggregated by some fields. So this is the data from where the actual data scientist can start working on different use case problems. So now you see the data if goes in three different sets. it gives the highest flexibility to the data scientists and BI engineers, because think about if they just want to add one more column, they don't need to go all the way to source. They can simply go to the data warehouse, add a column into the queries and start using it. So that way it makes it very easy and flexible for all the three stages to work together. Now, just to summarize what we just talked about, in a very simplistic case, there should be three different stages of data for a AI team. One is staging, where EL tool bring data from multiple data sources in raw form and store them there. Now you can also think about, this is almost like a data lake kind of a thing, but not exactly data lake. Data lake has more layers to it, but still you can think about for a reasonably medium sized use case, this can behave like a object store, which can help you, think it is a data lake. Data warehouse is all the complete data in their raw form, but structured and cleaned enough to have all the information available for the further processing. And then analytical data set is derived from the data warehouse for a specific use case and used to build that use case based on whatever are the requirements. So Probyto AIMS Data Management module provide you to store all this information together, so that all the meta is stored in the Probyto AIMS system. And we also have the right tools in place to really do this process at a scale within your company using our stack. So um, if you want to see a demo, you can contact us. Or if you want to know more, you can drop us a note at sales@probyto.com. Go ahead, register for the demo to see what we have in our data management module, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.